What's up, everybody? This is Mike here with part number 4 of the project here. What I'm going to do today is just show you guys a couple random things that I'm doing to it. I'll be removing the power steering. I'm just going to loop his power steering rack, which is pretty easy. I'll show you guys that. And we have a quick release with a steering wheel setup that I'm going to put on, as well as a SI cluster I'm going to swap out. And that's pretty much it. I'll put the exhaust on also, but we're on hold. I had the engine ready. I had it all sealed up, put the new timing belt, put new seals, gaskets on it, and I torqued down the flywheel, and I went to go put on the pressure plate, and the clutch kit is just wrong. Either it's boxed wrong, I'm not sure, but the pressure plate just doesn't line up and it's too small, maybe for a B series or something. But so I'm on hold on that until the customer ordered another one. It should be here maybe in a couple days. That way I can drop the swap in. And that's all I'm lacking to get this thing in. But yeah, I'm gonna do a couple things just here and there to keep the process going. Okay, to loop the power steering, what you need to do is, well, first I started to drain this already. Take out the old fluid out of the reservoir. And pretty much what we're going to do is, you have a pipe cutter right here. I'm going to cut it here, and I'm going to cut it here, and put some oil cooler hose here, tighten it up with clamps real good. That way that the system is actually looped. There's other ways to do this. They make a kit that it just loops it right at the rack, but this is pretty much the same way. So remove the couple brackets here with this hard line, and like I say, loop this. Cut the hard lines, loop it, and you're good to go. What I'm going to do is cut here and cut here with the hardline cutter. What it is you just tighten it up. You put the pipe through here, you tighten it up, and there's a blade here, and you just spin it around like this, and it makes a nice even cut on it. Okay, so now the lines are cut. What I'm going to do is I got some cooler hose, and I'm going to put it on this line and this line. Also, I'm going to put a new clamp back here, just because this one looks kind of old and it might be leaking a tad bit. And when I put the lines in there, I'm just going to push it back. That way you won't ever see it. So this is how it'll be. I'll have this hose here. I'm gonna cut it to length, but pretty much gonna be just like this. So. And then you want to cut it too short so it'll maybe kink the hose or something. Okay, so this is how it'll be. This hose going to this line going to this line, just looped up with a oil cooler hose. You want to make sure it's like an oil cooler hose that can, transmission fluid or power steering fluid can go through, so it doesn't swell up and start to leak or bust. You want to tighten it down as much as you can because you don't want this hose to come off. So there you go, that's how you loop it. You just loop it with the hose to both hard lines and you're set. I was going to pour a little bit of power steering fluid in the line, but I didn't really lose much, so it should be fine. And that way you eliminate all this. Customer didn't want to use power steering anymore. He was just going to leave the power steering the pump just on the side and not bolted up to a bracket or anything. So I figured might as well just, delete it and loop the rack. So that's how you loop the rack. So what we're going to do now is remove the stock steering wheel, which is pretty beat up. And I'm going to replace it with a short hub, a quick release, and then an aftermarket steering wheel. First, what you want to do is take the caps off right here, which is behind here. You will see your T30, which is you'll need a T30 torque socket. And you remove the T30s, pull the airbag off, disconnect the connectors. First thing first is disconnect your battery. This battery is already disconnected. But yeah, I'll take the T30s out, take the SRS, the airbag out, and then there will be the big 19 nut that holds actual steering wheel on. And that's it for the installation. Steering wheel is on to the quick release. Take it off just like that. Hub is mounted. And put this on, just pop it in. Next I'll be putting the SI cluster in, and I'll put this panel back on also. What I'm doing here is I was going to take, well, the SI cluster I was going to put on, the lens was cracked, and also the back of the bezel has a bunch of, I don't know what it is, a bunch of marks on it that I didn't like. So what I was going to do is for sure replace the glass, the lens from the EX cluster and put it on here and the bezel. What I noticed is the EX cluster has ABS. So what I'm going to do is swap these gauges into this body and put this bezel on there. That way it'll be pretty much an EM1 SI cluster, but it'll have actual ABS still on there. So that's what I'm about to do right now, is swap all that over. Okay, again, the reason why I did this was because this EX base had the ABS here. So if I was to throw it in, it's no big deal, but I just wanted to make it, perfect. If I were to throw it in with the SI base, there's no spot for the ABS. So what I did was change all the gauges from the SI instrument base to over here on the EX. And I'm going to use the non-cracked lens and this bezel that has the ABS on there, and plus it's nice and clean. I'm gonna put it on there, put the case on, put the lens on, and this thing will look pretty good, Like I said, this one was cracked. It's also got a bunch of stuff on it. I don't know why. So yeah, so it'll look just like that. You pop it on, and yeah, this will be an SI cluster with ABS. And these pieces here, these are also different. They're kind of different at the top. So I'm gonna, I guess it's for the blue tint. So I'm gonna put this from the SI onto here too. Anyways, yeah, this comes off and it just snaps in, and this just snaps in also. And that's it. Everything swapped over. SI cluster with ABS. Okay, so this is the cluster that I kind of modified or changed around. So how you take the cluster out is, you know, it's got two, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that holds it in inside of the dash. And then you have this trim that's held on by 2 screws up top. First you take the trim off, then you take the screws off the cluster, pull it out, and unplug it. Same way with installing it. You just put it in, plug it up. Alright, my phone died, so I wasn't able to record anything. But I got the cluster in, steering wheel on, and I went ahead and put all the center console pieces on. Shift boot, brand new shift knob. So yeah, that's the SI instrument cluster that I modified. Like I said, like I showed you guys, it has now the ABS, so when you turn the car on, the ABS light will, you know, prime up, or if there's a problem, the ABS light will come on. And yeah, so I'll show you guys. So steering wheel's done, and here's how the center console is. I was able to get the shift boot, I was able to get the cup holders to work. I just had to shave the bracket for the shift assembly. I had to shave it down, but everything fits good. So yeah. So yeah, everything's done in the interior. Those wires that I told you to, you know, splice together, I've done that. I just have the 2 wires here that I'm going to run through the firewall where the engine harness goes through, and that's going to go to the reverse lights. But yeah, interior is finished. Like I said, EM1 cluster swap along with the steering wheel, shift boot, shift knob on, center console on. That's a transformation right there. But I'm kind of in a bind as far as that pressure plate being wrong. So I really can't put the clutch kit on, put the transmission on, and drop the swap in. Supposedly that'll be here tomorrow. So really what I'm gonna do, I mean, I've done everything I can do pretty much. We have a new set of, he got some wheels that he wants me to put on. So we're gonna put these on there. LS mesh wheels with brand new tires. So I'm gonna just set those on there with locking lug nuts. So pretty much I'll just put his wheels on, I'll lower the car down. That way when I put the transmission on, I can pull the car back in the shop and drop the swap in and go from there. But yeah, everything's ready, pretty much. Interior was done, exhaust is done, brakes were done also. I didn't show you guys that. This was the brakes that I did. I had to replace one of the studs. So I just took it to work. I took the spindle to work and popped the hub out and replaced the wheel stud in there. But yeah, it's brand new rotors, brand new pads. Might as well. So yeah, we're good in that department. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is just put the brackets on for the rear T bracket, the transmission side, and then the passenger side, and pop these wheels on. And I'll call it a day for these LS mesh wheels will definitely look a lot better. I'm a big fan of these and blades. I'm not really a fan of SIs, but anyways, this will look really good. And also, like I said in the other episodes, after this swap is done, he's gonna focus on the suspension stuff. So we're gonna be putting full suspension, control arm, stuff like that on here. So once it's nice and lowered, it'll definitely look good. Here's the mount kit that we'll be using on this swap. It's from Hasport. It's the EKH3 mount kit. I believe it's the latest one they have. It comes with a T bracket and all the other mounts needed for it, and brackets and hardware. I believe it's the 65 or the 62A bushing, so it's not too stiff, but definitely better than stock. So yeah, this is what's going in. So what I'm going to do is just put the bracket for the trans mount. I'll put the rear mount in. I'm not going to tighten the bolts all the way until the motor's all the way in and snug. And also I'm going to put the bracket in for the driver's side mount. That way when I go to drop the swap in, everything Alright, that way when I drop the engine in, I'll drop it down straight onto the mounts. When I drop the engine in, I know I have to tilt it down and, you know, wiggle it around and stuff like that, but that way everything's set in place. That way I can put the bolts in once it's in place. Just to show you, you know, this will be here, it'll be like that. And then the trans mount will be over there. Trans mount will be like that. So. And also this kit comes with a T-bracket. Let it go like that. Coming together, I can see it definitely changed from when this car first got dropped off to now. Like I said, I'll be dropping the swap in as soon as I can get this clutch on and transmission put back on. But yeah. Car's definitely looking different. Like I said, the interior's done. So, wheels are on. Exhaust is on. Like I said, we'll be putting a different muffler on there, which is the MagnaFlow. Actually, I'm going to make a separate video of what I got to do after this. What I'm going to do is the Euro R manifold. It actually has to be modified a little bit to run the 2-wire idle air control valve. You got to put a plate on there and put the 2-wire idle air control valve on there. And also we got a Roscoe. Well, I found all this information from Roscoe Racing. Very good website as far as the H series manifold swaps. And what we're going to do is I have to block off 4 of the air holes that are right above the injectors. I'm going to tap those, put plugs in those, and put the Roscoe Racing fuel rail on there, and the idle air control valve plate conversion, and also put the EGR block off on there. But I'm going to make a separate video of a not do it yourself, but I'm just going to do a video on how to modify the intake manifold completely to the Euro R. I appreciate you guys watching, all the subscribers, all the likes, and next time I'll be putting this swap in on my next episode. I've pretty much finished everything up I could, so stay tuned and thanks.